Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are going to be fixing a problem that I've found with so many Airbnbs. This problem relates to every single Airbnb and determines whether or not you go with fully booked calendars or you're completely vacant and your Airbnb ultimately goes under. Can you tell what it is? It's privacy. So privacy is a huge component of staying at an Airbnb. If you book a really cool place for a high dollar value, you want to have utmost privacy when you're staying at the home so you're able to relax and really enjoy yourself. So the site where we're going to be building, Cedar Hollow Part 2, is actually fairly close to two different homes. We have a home there, we have a home over there, and for guests that are staying at the home, we want them to feel like they're totally secluded and that they're off in this wonderful, natural, isolated landscape. Because who wants to be going down the cedar path off to the sauna with all the neighbors staring at you while you're staying at this home? So if you're considering building an Airbnb, I'm gonna be walking you guys through exactly how I build this 8-foot cedar privacy fence, breaking down all the costs, how to build it, and how you can achieve a fully isolated feel even when you have lots of homes surrounding where you're building your Airbnb. So let me give you a rundown on what I've done so far. So this is the first stretch of fence, and it runs 250 feet down the property line, and you can see how it screens you off from this neighbor over here. So that instead of seeing trucks and cars and people coming and going, you get this really natural feel that you're off all by yourself. So the fence continues all the way down there and wraps around back over there, which is where I ended, which is where we're gonna pick up, and I show you exactly how we build these fences. The first step is to get a survey and figure out exactly where your property lines are and discuss them with your neighbor, because no one wants to fight about a fence being 2 feet off after it's all done. So we figured out exactly where the property line is, and I set these string lines to be 6 inches above the ground because that's what we're gonna use to help level the section. So you can see that's where this first string line starts. It continues all the way down there to this stake, and this is gonna be one grade plane that we match. So the tops of this will perfectly slope down to this stake, and then we start to go downhill here, so this will be the next grade that we track with. Next up, we got to dig the hole. So we actually ended up renting this Bobcat with a hole digger bit on the end, and it makes digging holes so much faster. So let's go see if we can get this thing down the hill and start digging holes. This is gonna be a little tricky because we start going down the really steep hill, and we wanna block this house with the fence, so we do have to dig a post hole like right on this steep hill. Hopefully the Bobcat doesn't roll away. So this thing actually did pretty well. Here's the hole. It's only like 12 inches deep here, but it loosened up all the soil. So we're gonna go take the normal post hole digger and pull all this out before we actually start setting the posts and squaring everything up. I know you thought you could get away from using one of these post hole diggers, but it's essential because you wanna get all the loose stuff off the bottom so that when the concrete starts to set up, it has a really solid platform to sit on. And there we have it. Look at that, a nice 2-foot deep hole. So I started hitting a bunch of like harder stuff towards the bottom, which means we have a good platform for the concrete to start to set on. I'm gonna go move this thing to a safer parking spot. This hill, you can see the roadway down there. That's like 350, 400 feet down. So let's go park this in a better spot that it won't roll away. Guys, I have something very exciting to show you. A concrete mixer. You guys gave me so much crap for mixing all the concrete by hand, saying I could do it so much faster if I just bought one of these guys. I was so cheap when I first started building homes, I would just mix it all by hand. But now that things are going pretty well, I can finally afford this $350 concrete mixer. This thing has saved me so much time. I wish I would have bought it years ago. Ta-da! If you guys are new here, welcome. I believe we just hit 80,000 subscribers. If you don't know what we're doing here, we're gonna be building an Airbnb that I actually just built out in the mountains with a couple variations on it named the Cedar Hollow. And I sell the construction plans online. If you're looking to follow along and learn how to build new construction and do like all of it yourself, I built the Cedar Hollow entirely by myself, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to follow construction plans and learn to build. So I sell the construction plans online for about $1,300, but I'm still running the 60% off code. It's pretty much a step-by-step tutorial on how to build a little tiny home. Let's go build the first post. We're building an 8-foot tall fence, so these 4x4s have to be 10 feet tall, so you get 2 feet in the ground and then 8 feet above. Insert your cedar 8-foot board. So the way I like to do it is to take the 4x4 and the cedar plank, line it up at the corner, flush like that. Just put a temporary screw there, put another one down here at the bottom, make sure it's lined up, and then one in the middle just to hold it. And then towards the bottom of the post, I like to go 5.5 inches up and make a little measurement there, which you'll see why we do this in a bit. Now we have one full board screwed to the top of the 4x4. And we got our 4 bags of concrete all mixed out here, ready to go into the hole. Got a shovel, we'll take our stomper, make sure we're nice and hard and compact down there with just dirt. So then I need a few other tools. So I got this big hammer for pounding these stakes down into the ground, and these stakes were cut in triangles. They're actually decking boards that were in perfect triangles that worked out. So we drive these into the ground and screw them into the 4x4 post to hold it while the concrete is setting up. Then I got my trusty dusty laser level here. I love this thing. This is the only reason all my houses are square and level. And actually last week while I was building, I had a neighbor swing by and say, hey, have you ever seen one of these tools? The way this works is you take this angle and you can see it's got 2 little floats on it, leveler floats, and it hooks on just like that. You take this bungee, you wrap it around, hook it, but you kind of get the point. You can then level out the post. And this little leveler, so it's got levels on both sides so you can make sure it's perfectly level both ways, gets you close enough to set these guys, and then you throw the laser on it to get it perfectly level. This is honestly one of my favorite parts, where you spin it and then you slowly dump it out into the wheelbarrow. I'm gonna put a few scoops down there to sort of set the base. Definitely a little wetter than I like it, but it'll do. This always takes so much longer to do while filming it, but I'm doing it for you guys. So if you wouldn't mind liking the video and subscribing to the channel, I really appreciate it. The goal is to hit 100,000 subs by the end of the year. That's been like a dream when I was growing up and getting into this creative space, and it's wild to think that it's actually like within reach. So you can see that the corner closest to the slope is still above grade, because we don't want the bottom of this board sitting on soil, because as the soil gets wet, especially here in Washington where it's super rainy, it'll slowly rot away the board. So we're gonna make sure there's about like an inch or 2 gap from the bottom of the fence. And using our little level here, so we look pretty good that way. So I like to jab it in the ground, and then you go to the screw is in the middle of the 4x4. There you go. See, now it won't shift this way side to side. And now we'll go set it going this way. And then we'll check our level. Wow, that actually looks really good. That never happens. You gotta do the little zhuzh. So then when I spread this last little bit of concrete, I like to make sure that it's all draining away. So when water gets on it here, it doesn't seep to the middle where the post is, but that it drains off so it doesn't rot away these posts. All right, so there we go. We got about 4 or 5 bags of concrete right here. Let's turn this guy on. You can see it sets that perfect plane, and put it right on the corner of the board there. And you can see the laser chases all the way up on the side of the board here, which means it is perfectly level this way. And we'll do the same thing on this side. We'll do the same thing over here. So we got the laser there. It runs all the way up, which means we're nice and level. So there we have it. The first post, we know it's level to the ground, not going anywhere. Now we go do that one more time. Before we keep going, I do have to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Element. Element is a zero sugar electrolyte drink mix born from the growing research that optimal health occurs at 2 to 3 times the recommended government sodium levels in the body. Element not only has these carbonated cans, but they also have, I'm grabbing watermelon because this is my favorite flavor, but they also have these little packets that you pour into your water bottle, which I'm very bad at drinking water because it just tastes like nothing. So this is actually huge for staying hydrated for me. So all you do, you pour it in. Oh, it smells so good already. Give it a good old shake. Oh, and enjoy that watermelon. I'm serious, guys. Once you try the watermelon, you will not go back. It's so good. Plus, they have all kinds of different flavors. Each one of these packets delivers a meaningful dose of electrolytes free of sugar, artificial colors, and other dodgy ingredients. When I first met the Element team and was getting to know the story behind the company, I was also reviewing some of the flavors at the same time, and I saw this chocolate caramel one they sent over. I'm like, there's no way that tastes good. And I tried it in the water. I'm like, okay, it tastes like chocolate caramel. And I wasn't a huge fan, but then they mentioned that you can mix these in all sorts of different drink. So whether or not you're putting it in coffee and it makes that salty chocolate caramel coffee flavor. I haven't had a chance to try it yet, but I'm so excited for this fall, like cozying up on a rainy day with a warm cup of coffee with some of that chocolate caramel Element mixed in. So I actually found Element at the perfect time, right as we were ramping up into these summer months where it is so important to stay hydrated. And with me doing all this construction by myself, it can definitely take a toll on me, and sometimes I can forget to drink water. So having a drink that loads me up with electrolytes to keep me going is huge. So if you guys do want to try out Element and all of their amazing flavors that they have, all you have to do is you go to drinklmnt.com/Devin Lorup. That's drinkelement.com/Devin Lorup. I seriously love this product. The only products I bring on the channel are products that I've truly looked into, understand, love, and enjoy, and work into my daily routine. Literally just 2 days ago, I worked a 14-hour day here, and on my way home, I was talking to Emily like, hey, like, what are you doing? You want to go do something? It's crazy. My energy levels have been so much higher, and I do attribute a ton of that to Element. So if you do want to check it out and get a free sample pack with any drink mix purchase, go to drinklmnt.com/Devin Lorup. And again, that's drinklmnt.com/Devin Lorup. So let's go set that next post. So then I use a string line to line up exactly where the next post goes. I use that 2x4 to space out the space between the holes. Then I use the auger and the post hole digger to clean everything up before we start setting the concrete. Back in there, see how the black line is right on the string line? That's exactly what we want. You still see the little black mark is right in line with the pink string there. And we actually look really good this way too. Sure, we're nice and square that way, level that way. And there we have it, 2 posts that are set perfectly in line. You can kind of see as they line up right there. These 2 posts are perfectly down the string line there, and they keep going. You can almost see them all flush out and line up together. I want to let these 2 posts perfectly set up for the next 24 hours before you start putting the fence posts on. But I actually did a handful of posts the other day, so I'm going to be able to show you how we finish cladding with the cedar. These 2 posts here were the ones I set, and they're all set up. What we want to make sure is that this pink string is right in line with that black dot there, the black dot right there, and then it also lines up down there. Making sure the string lines up on all those 5.5-inch black marks. It makes it so that all these posts running across the top have a perfectly straight line, and you don't have the fence rolling up and down. Alrighty, first up here, we're gonna measure the length of this bottom 2x4 runner. Now we're gonna attach these 2x4s, and we'll get the bottom of the 2x4 lined up with the bottom of this board here. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Actually, now that these are set up, we can remove these guys. Snap that one on accident. There you go. And then we're gonna put 3 screws. We're gonna put 1 toenail there and 2 in the side. So then what we're gonna do is mark going off of the 2x4 down there. We'll go up 43 and 46.5. Same thing over here. So 43, 46.5. That tells us where our next 2x4 has to go. You can see we got the 3 2x4s running there. And the 3 make it so that over time, as the sun warps and heats and cools, all these boards, they won't flex, and you'll have like random gaps in them. This way you have support at the bottom, middle, and top, so this fence is bulletproof for years to come. Now the fun part, where the fence actually comes to life. So what I like to do is I set my laser on the most recent board, which we ended up recladding an old fence here. So this beam is actually out a little bit. So what I'll do is make sure that this plane is perfectly level on the side of this fence board. That way I can do like 5 or 6 boards, recheck level, and slightly adjust as we go. So that actually looks really good. So we're gonna go do like 5 boards and then recheck level. And then 2 down low. And you just do that all the way down. So here's a quick time lapse of me doing it. There you have it, now that I'm done fighting this stupid tree. So the last step to do is to take this finishing board, put it across the top up there to cover up all the screws and just put like 6 screws in it. So instead of seeing all the million screws up there, all you see is the 6 or 8 screws that you put into this little fascia board. And there you go, guys. That's how we solve one of Airbnb's largest problems, which is privacy. And this 8-foot fence is gonna look incredible when we're all the way done. I'm not gonna bore you with me doing the whole rest of this fence, but I'll definitely be giving you updates when it's all done and show you exactly what it looks like. To break this down cost-wise, each 8-foot long by 8-foot tall section of this fence cost about $200 in materials. You have about $25 worth of concrete. It's like 5 60-pound bags of concrete. Each of the 4x4 by 10-foot tall posts is about $25. Each of the 2x4s that runs across, all 3 of those cost $21 altogether. They're about $7 a piece. And then each one of the actual fence boards at 8 feet tall cost about $7. So all in, you're in about $200 in materials per 8-foot section, plus or minus a little bit. Sometimes you get a bad board that's super warped and you have to change it out and one's just scrap. But overall, this is a really simple, amazing looking way to give yourself and guests some nice screening. I want to thank Element for being the sponsor of this video. I really couldn't have done it and everything this summer without you guys. I definitely encourage you to check it out. Go to drinkelement.com/DevonLaura. That's drinklmnt.com/DevonLaura. And I want to thank all my channel members. I think we're up to 4. I really appreciate you guys. If you do want to become a channel member and support me and the channel, it's $5 a month and you get early access. I'm sharing videos before they actually go live to the whole audience, and I show a whole bunch of behind the scenes stuff. So I really appreciate it, guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.